Hi, welcome back. We're going to be taking our robot and placing it into CoSpaces and coding it to move. First thing we want to do is click on the little home icon in the corner here to get our work plane oriented. Next thing we want to do is we want to place our robot in the correct orientation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click down here on my trackpad, and I'm just going to use my other finger to drag a bounding box around my robot. That will highlight my entire robot here. The next thing I want to do is I'm just going to group everything together to make it a bit easier to move him around. So I'm just going to click on group there. Once I've done that, it's going to turn totally red. I'm going to click on solid, and then I'm just going to click multicolor right there to get my colors back. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to bring our robot basically to the center of our work plane, and to do that we need to figure out where the center of our work plane is. I found the best way to do that is just change your orientation on your robot a little bit. Grab your robot, and we're actually going to flip him so he's lying flat. So put him at 90 degrees there. And I'm going, sorry, minus 90, and I'm going to click D, and D drops it to the work plane, so I click D. And now what I need to do is, I found that if you click the whole icon here, and you can see through the robot, we're going to want this little sort of black center dot that you see here right in the middle of our work plane. So I'm going to click on top here, and I'm going to change to a flat view, to orthographic view, so 2D. And I'm just going to use that, I'm going to count up 10 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks right here. And I'm going to count over 10 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I want this centerpiece in 10. Now I think that was it. It's not easy to get 100% correct. Hopefully I got it right there. And that is, now we're going to turn it back into solid. So we're going to get that multicolor back. And this is going to allow us to make sure that when we move our robot around, he does exactly what he's supposed to do because the origin is correct on the robot. Okay, so click on your robot once. We're going to click export right here, and we want to export it as a .obj file. So click on that because that will give us our colors of our robot as well. Okay, there it is right there. Now if you're on a Chromebook, it's going to be a little bit of a different process, but as long as you can locate where this file is sent to, that's the important thing. My file is sent to my desktop. That's where I send all my files. I find it's easy to get. I double click on this zip folder, and what that does is it opens up another folder. Inside this folder is the two files that I need. You can see there's the folder right there, and there's the two files, Tinker and OBJMTL. Now I'm going to go into CoSpaces, so I'm just click on CoSpaces. Now this is a blank space with nothing in it. I'm just going to back up actually a couple points here. So you can either go under free play and create your own space, or I have a class here actually set up for my students called Robot Maze that we use to build this. So I just click on Robot Maze. Here is a blank slate with nothing in it. And all we're going to do is go over to our little window here, and we're going to click on the top file. I'm going to hold down Shift, which is next to Z. I'm going to click on the other file, and I'm going to drag them both into CoSpaces. Now I can close this up, I can move this over, and my robot should be kind of sitting in the middle of my space. Now he's going to be kind of buried in the ground there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move our camera back a little bit. We're going to click on the robot, and we're going to raise him up by clicking on these double arrows and put him kind of sitting on the work plane. I'm also going to grab this little circle around him, and I'm just going to rotate the robot so he's facing the camera. Okay, and it's going to move him up to the camera. I'm going to click play, and there he is, my robot, and I can use WS. Actually, I think my camera, yeah, sorry, my camera is hooked to the ground, so I can't move around, but that's okay. I'll show you how to fix that in a bit. Anyway, there's the robot, and we're going to move on to building the maze in a minute.